when we grew up, of course, we didn't like go to the movies or do other things for entertainment. The best part of all our entertainment was to go to Trenton. That was the most exciting thing that we could do. And we did it, I think, quite often. We went to 195 Locust Street, where Yoina and Faggy had this grocery store, and it seemed like an enchanted place. We just loved it. And Pauline and I and Caroline, we all became very close friends, and we're very happy to be together. Pauline was very proud of herself because they had a geography lesson, and I somehow Worcester came into the lesson, and she was the only one that knew how to pronounce Worcester. So she thought that was terrific. The most important thing that, this happened later, but I still have to tell you about it when we were in Trenton and at Locust Street, was that we had bacon for breakfast. That everybody thought was the most exotic thing on this world. We just reveled in it, because we didn't have anything like that in Worcester, and it was such fun. I still remember the steep stairs we had to climb to get up to the second and third floor, and how hospitable they were, Auntie Faggy and Uncle Yoina were to us, and we just loved that time. 1 minute. Rowena just said that the steep steps helped keep her mother and father healthy because they had to do that as exercise, which reminded me that my mother had terrible arthritis, but the doctor called Dr. O'Mara told her the reason that she was alive and able to move was because she did all her own housework, and that really kept her going. My mother loved her house and keeping it clean. In those days, they had pipes along the ceiling, and they were copper pipes, and my mother cleaned those pipes so they shined. And we had a doorbell outside, and the doorbell was either brass or copper, and it shined so much that the wood around it was eroded from all the shining. And her laundry, doing her laundry, was one of the happiest days of her life, was doing laundry. And later on in life, when Betty and I wanted her to get out and do things with us, no, she had to do her laundry. So after a while, we didn't bother to ask her anymore, but we knew that it was going to be laundry day. And in fact, we used to say she washed clean clothes.
And rags.
Rags. In fact, she did have a woman that came in to help her called Margaret Krabovickas. And in fact, she used to change the water that she was washing the floor with. And the floor wasn't even, the water was not even dirty. But she always had to have clean water to do her floors. I forgot to say something about when we were growing up that I think was wonderful. We used to go to not only to Trenton, but to the famous house on the shore where the Bogages lived in the summer, and I remember clearly being there with Pauline and my brother, and we were so engrossed with Tchaikovsky at that time and Pauline, of course, played the piano beautifully. She drew staffs and put down the of the symphonies, the themes. And when we got home, we had a piano, and we could play them. My father was very, very interested in music and wonderful things, and he brought a Victrola and a piano when a lot of people didn't have those instruments. Especially with the Victrola, we had wonderful records of Hazen's and also Caruso and also classical music. I remember very much that Sylvia loved The Afternoon of a Faun by Debussy, and when she used to come over to the house, always asked me to put that record on. And as I said, we really enjoyed having the music in the house. I, of course, took piano lessons, but did not, of course, want to practice, and unfortunately stopped and never really learned how to play. And Betty also didn't know how to really play. Nina plays a little, and Nina took lessons, and Frankie took flute lessons.